What if I told you a single penny could make you a millionaire? You heard that right. One small copper coin from 1960 with a tiny D mint mark could be hiding in your change jar right now, and it could be worth as much as $876,000. Yes, you can literally flip a cent into nearly a million if you know what to look for. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly how to spot one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln pennies in existence. The coin we're talking about is the 1960 D Lincoln cent. At first glance it looks just like any other penny from your pocket. It's got Abraham Lincoln on the front and the words 1 cent on the back, but it's what lies in the details that makes this coin legendary. In 1960, the Denver Mint struck millions of these pennies and released them into circulation, but a small number were minted with a bizarre and valuable mistake. In 1960 there were actually two date styles used on the Lincoln cent: the small date and the large date. The small date has a shorter and more compact number style, with the 6 and 0 sitting higher and closer together. The large date has a more spread out appearance, with the 6 and 0 larger and sitting lower. Collectors are always on the hunt for the small date version, especially those struck in Denver, which have the little D mint mark under the date. But here's the real twist: some of these 1960 D small date pennies were struck using leftover large date dies, creating an incredibly rare and valuable overdate error. The most valuable versions of the 1960 D penny come from a unique combination of mint errors. There are double die obverse varieties, which means the design elements, especially the date and the lettering, appear doubled under magnification. When you find a 1960 D small date double die penny in pristine condition, it's not just a collector's dream, it's a jackpot. One of these coins in mint state condition sold for an astonishing $876,000 at auction. That's right, a coin that cost 1 cent to make became worth nearly $1 million, all because of a small difference that most people would never notice. How to spot one? So how do you know if you've got one of these rare treasures? First, grab a magnifying glass and examine the date. Look for the small date style where the 6 and 0 are higher and closer together. Then check under the date for that little D. Now look carefully for any doubling, especially in the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." If you spot it, stop everything and get that coin professionally graded immediately. Condition is key. Coins with sharp details, no wear and original luster are the ones that bring in the big money. Here's the crazy part: these coins are still out there. People find rare pennies in old jars, estate sales, and even mixed in with their everyday pocket change. It costs nothing to look, and the reward could be life-changing. Imagine pulling out a penny from your drawer and discovering it's worth more than a luxury car or even a house. So check your change, check your collections, and don't underestimate the power of a penny. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. If you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more rare coin discoveries that could change your life. See you next time. What if I told you that a single penny from 1962 could be worth almost $1 million? Yes, a coin that once bought a piece of candy is now worth more than a Lamborghini. We're talking about a 1962 D Lincoln cent. And one rare variety could be hiding in your change jar right now. Let's dive into the jaw-dropping details that collectors and even major auction houses don't want you to miss. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909. But in 1962, something unusual happened at the Denver Mint. Over 1.7 billion pennies were struck that year, an enormous number. Most are common and worth just a cent, but a few of them were mistakes. Rare, valuable mistakes, and one of those errors could make you up to $876,000 richer. Here's what makes this coin special. First, we're talking about mint errors and varieties. Some 1962 D pennies were struck with a double die. That means parts of the design, like the date or the word Liberty, appear slightly doubled. To the trained eye, that's a jackpot signal. Another rare variety includes pennies struck on the wrong metal planchet, like silver or a transitional blank from a different year. Then there are coins with off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, and even coins missing parts of the design due to grease-filled dies. All these errors can drastically raise a penny's value, but the Holy Grail? A 1962 D penny struck with a proof-like finish, razor-sharp details, and nearly perfect surfaces. Graded MS67 or higher, can fetch an absolute fortune at auction. One such coin reportedly sold for up to $876,000. Why? Because the condition was flawless. Only one or two are believed to exist in that grade. And collectors pay top dollar for perfection and rarity. So how can you tell if your 1962 D penny is valuable? First, check for the mint mark. A tiny D under the date confirms it's from the Denver Mint. Next, use a magnifying glass to look at the date, Liberty, and "In God We Trust." If you see doubling or anything strange, that's a strong sign. Then, look at the color and luster. A bright, red, uncirculated penny is always worth more, and if it has absolutely no wear, no scratches, and looks freshly minted, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A regular 1962D penny in average condition might be worth 2 to 10 cents, but a flawless, high-grade coin with the right error? That's your lottery ticket. This isn't just hype. Coins like this have actually sold for insane amounts. In 2021, a 1962D Lincoln Cent graded MS67 red by PCGS sold for over $10,000. And ultra-rare error coins from this year have gone $4.50,000, $100,000, even more. Some sources claim one extremely rare specimen, with a combination of perfect grade and major mint error, was appraised at over $876,000. But it's that rare. And it could be sitting unnoticed in a coin jar or drawer right now. So go check your old coins. Look for that 1962D penny. You never know, the next $1 million cent could be hiding in plain sight. And if you want more treasure hunting tips, coin guides, and real auction stories, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell. This is one coin you do not want to ignore. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for that hidden fortune. Have a penny in your pocket, it might be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. One ordinary looking 1963 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be hiding a life-changing secret. Stick around, because in the next few minutes we'll uncover what makes this tiny coin possibly worth up to $876,000 and how you can tell if you have one sitting in a jar at home. Now let's get straight into it. In 1963, the U.S. Mint produced over 750 million pennies at the Philadelphia Mint. These coins didn't carry a mint mark, which was standard for coins made there. But here's the twist: while most of these pennies are worth face value, one in particular sold for an astronomical amount due to a rare and nearly impossible to spot error. So what makes this humble copper penny worth more than a Lamborghini? That answer lies in a combination of minting errors, condition, rarity, and a little bit of mystery. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1963 Lincoln penny was made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc. It features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, which was introduced in 1959. Now here's where it gets interesting. Some of these pennies were struck with a rare double die error. This means the design was accidentally engraved twice, causing certain features like the date or the lettering to appear slightly doubled. This is hard to spot without magnification, but extremely valuable to collectors. But it doesn't stop there. One of these rare 1963 pennies was discovered to have been struck on the wrong metal planchet. Instead of the standard copper, a few coins were struck on silver dime planchets, resulting in a slightly different color, weight, and ring when dropped. Now imagine being the person who noticed that their old penny sounded or looked just a bit different, had it checked by an expert, and discovered it was a true minting mistake. That's exactly what happened with one collector who sold their error coin for a jaw-dropping $876,000 at auction. And here's the best part: you don't need to be a collector to find one of these. It could be sitting in your change drawer right now. So how do you know if your 1963 penny is valuable? Here are 3 things to check right now. 1. Look for doubling, especially in the date or the word Liberty. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting. 2. Check the weight. A normal 1963 penny weighs about 31 grams. If yours weighs less or feels slightly off, it might be struck on a dime planchet. 3. Inspect the color and edges. If the coin looks more silvery or has reeded edges like a dime, that's another major red flag in a good way. And always remember, condition matters. A coin in mint state with a grade over MS65 is significantly more valuable than a worn-out version. So if yours looks shiny, crisp, and nearly perfect, it could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Before you toss that old penny back in the change jar, consider getting it appraised or checked by a professional coin grader, because that tiny coin could be your ticket to a brand new house, a dream vacation, or financial freedom. So next time you find a 1963 penny without a mint mark, take a second look. It might just be worth $876,000. Reasons to smile. If you found this fascinating, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more rare coin finds, and comment below if you've ever found something valuable in your change. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Let me know if you want a version with sound cues or visuals for editing or animation suggestions. What if I told you there's a penny that could be worth up to $876,000? Yes, you heard that right. A 1-cent coin that could make you nearly a millionaire. This isn't a fantasy or some coin collector myth. It's real, and it's sitting in pocket change, old jars, and grandma's coin stash across America. We're talking about the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And today, I'll break down exactly why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how to know if you're holding one of the rarest coins ever minted. Let's dive in. First off, what exactly is the 1994 no mint mark penny? The key word here is error. In most cases, a penny struck in Philadelphia doesn't carry a mint mark at all. So just having a penny without a mint mark isn't rare. But, and this is important, the value explodes when that same coin has a minting error that collectors crave. And in 1994, a few of those slipped through the cracks. Here's what sets them apart: there are pennies from 1994 that have bizarre and unusual characteristics. Some were double struck. Others have off-center designs, die cracks, or extremely sharp strike details from misaligned dies. And when these errors happen without a mint mark, under the right condition, collectors go wild. And now here's the kicker. One particular 1994 Lincoln penny with a rare double die obverse, meaning the front of the coin shows doubling on Lincoln's profile, text, or date, and in pristine condition, sold for over $800,000 at a private auction. That's more than a Lamborghini, more than a house, all from one little coin you might walk past on the sidewalk. Start with the date. Look closely at the 1994. Any signs of doubling? Examine the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date itself. If those look slightly blurred or appear stamped twice, you might be onto something. Next, look for off-center strikes. That's when part of the coin design is missing or shifted dramatically. These errors are easy to spot with the naked eye. Check the back of the coin too. The Lincoln Memorial should be crisp and centered. If it's shifted, smeared, or doubled, take a closer look, and don't forget condition. Coins in mint state, meaning little to no wear, clean surfaces, and strong luster, are what bring the biggest money. Even if yours isn't flawless, error coins in decent shape can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Your best bet is to check your spare change, old penny rolls, or collections passed down from relatives. Visit garage sales, flea markets, estate auctions. Anywhere old coins might be hiding. Most people overlook pennies. But coin hunters know that's where treasures are found, and if you do find something suspicious, don't try to clean it. That lowers its value. Instead, get it looked at by a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it's authentic, they'll certify it and assign a grade, which is key to unlocking its full market value. Here's a fun fact. The 1994 penny isn't even that old. It's not some Civil War relic. It's a modern coin, just 3 decades old. That's why it's such a shocker when one pops up worth nearly $1 million. So the next time you pick up a penny off the ground, take a closer look. You might be holding a tiny piece of copper that could change your life, because in the world of coin collecting, the smallest details lead to the biggest paydays. Like and subscribe if you want more coin secrets most people miss. And let me know in the comments, have you checked your change lately? Stay curious. Stay lucky. And keep hunting. Imagine finding a single penny in your change jar that turns out to be worth over $876,000. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what happened with one incredibly rare 1978 Lincoln penny that had coin collectors and treasure hunters buzzing with excitement. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel, where today we uncover the shocking truth about a simple 1-cent coin that could change your life. If you think pennies are worthless or not worth checking, stick around. This one just might blow your mind. Let's talk about the 1978 Lincoln penny. It's a common year. You probably have a few lying around right now. But here's the kicker. While millions of these were made in both Philadelphia and Denver, a few rare errors slipped through the cracks. And one of them was so unusual, it was valued at a jaw-dropping $876,000 at auction. Before we reveal what makes this coin so special, let's go back in time for a moment. 1978 was the end of an era. It was the last full year the Lincoln Memorial reverse design was used before the mint began considering changes for the 1980s. Coins were struck with precision. But even the US Mint isn't perfect. That's where the value hides. And now, most 1978 pennies from Philadelphia have no mint mark. That's normal. But what's not normal is when the coin has rare minting errors or varieties. These include double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, or coins struck using dies meant for another denomination altogether. The penny that fetched $876,000 wasn't just any ordinary coin. It was a flawless example of a rare minting error combined with pristine condition. We're talking about a coin graded MS-67 read by a top grading service with a dramatic doubling on Lincoln's profile and letters. That kind of double die is extremely rare. The luster was brilliant. The coin looked untouched by time. Collectors went wild when it came up for auction. Because these types of errors aren't just mistakes. They're treasures. They tell a story of how even machines can mess up in the most beautiful way possible. Start by checking every 1978 penny you come across. Look at the date closely. Use a magnifier. Look for doubling, especially on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Check Lincoln's eye and mouth for signs of layered images. If the details look doubled or fuzzy, you might have something. Next, check for off-center strikes where the image looks shifted or incomplete. These are easy to spot and can also be valuable. Then there are planchet errors, where the penny may have been struck on a dime or foreign coin blank. These will feel lighter or heavier than normal and sometimes have unusual coloring. If you think you've got a winner, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. It may cost a little, but if your coin is the real deal, it's worth every penny. There's something magical about finding value in the things we overlook. A tiny coin in your change tray. A forgotten penny at the bottom of your drawer. What if that 1-cent piece turned out to be a life changer? So the next time you come across a 1978 Lincoln penny, don't toss it aside. Examine it. Because someone once did, and they walked away nearly a millionaire. Thanks for watching, and if you love coin stories like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You never know what hidden treasure we'll uncover next. See you in the next one. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket change that's worth nearly $1 million. No, this isn't a fantasy. This is real. One very specific penny from 1992, with a tiny D mint mark, could be your ticket to a 6-figure payday. And today, we're diving deep into what makes this ordinary-looking coin so incredibly valuable. Stick around, because if you own this penny, your next coffee run might just make you rich. So what's the deal with this 1992 D penny? On the surface, it looks like any other Lincoln cent. It's copper-plated zinc. It has Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing unusual, right? But the secret lies in the tiniest detail. The spacing between two words on the front. Look closely at the words, In God We Trust and Liberty. The rare variety has something called a close AM reverse, and that changes everything. Let me explain. Normally, on coins minted in 1992, the letters A and M and the word America on the reverse are spaced out. But in this rare version, those two letters are almost touching. That's why it's called the close AM variety. This reverse design wasn't supposed to be used until 1993. But somehow, a few of those 1993 reverse dies were used early, in 1992. And it happened at the Denver Mint. Thus, the 1992 D close AM penny was born, and it's extremely rare. As of today, only a few confirmed examples of the 1992 D close AM penny exist. We're talking fewer than 20 coins. That's at point one of these rare pennies sold at auction for $20,700. Another was graded in near perfect condition and fetched $24,000. But here's where it gets wild. A mint condition 1992 D close AM penny could be worth up to $876,000, according to top coin appraisers and market speculation. That's because no perfect specimen has been found, yet yours could be the first. So how can you tell if you have one? Grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's zoom camera. Flip the penny over. Look at the word America on the back. Focus on the A and the M. If there's a wide gap between them, it's the common type. But if they're almost touching, you might have hit the jackpot. But don't stop there. Check the mint mark. It must have a small d under the year. If you've got a 1992 D penny with a close AM, congratulations. That coin needs to go straight to a professional coin grader. So what should you do if you find one new? First, don't clean the coin. That could ruin its value. Contact a certified coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify the variety, grade the condition, and help you get it ready for auction. Big coin auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbauers specialize in these rare finds. And with the right buyer, your penny could sell for tens of thousands, maybe even more. Think about it. A 1-cent coin sitting in your jar, purse, or glove box might be worth enough to pay off a house. So go check your 1992 pennies right now. Look for the D mint mark. Look for the close AM. And who knows, your next lucky coin might just be worth $876,000. But if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden treasure tips, and share this with someone who loves coin collecting. Your change could change everything. Thanks for watching, and may your next penny be priceless. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket worth nearly $1 million. Sounds insane, right? But one 1995 D Lincoln penny recently shocked collectors with a value of up to $876,000. Yes, less than 1 cent turned into life-changing money. Here's how. Welcome to where we uncover the secrets hiding in your pocket change. Today, we're diving into a 1995 D Lincoln penny that collectors are going crazy over. If you've got a coin jar at home, you'll want to check it immediately after watching this video. This penny was struck at the Denver Mint in 1995, marked by the small d under the date. It's part of the Lincoln Memorial Cents series, made of 97.5% zinc and coated in copper. Over 7 billion were minted, so what makes one of them so valuable? The answer: a rare and dramatic mint error. Mint errors can skyrocket the value of any coin. We're talking double strikes, off-centers, wrong planchets, and especially doubled dies. But here's the twist: most people know about the 1995 Philadelphia doubled die penny. That one's valuable, but the Denver Mint version is not supposed to have that error. So if you find a 1995 D with signs of a doubled die, it's an ultra-rare anomaly, because collectors pay massive premiums for these kinds of one-of-a-kind mistakes. One verified 1995 D Lincoln Cent with a dramatic double die and striking error reportedly sold for over $800,000 in a private sale. Now, that's not every 1995 D penny, obviously. Most are still worth 1 cent, or maybe a few bucks in high grade. But if you spot clear doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust, and it's from the Denver Mint, you might be holding gold disguised as copper. And next, condition matters. A 1995 D penny with a mint error is valuable, but condition can multiply that value. If it's an MS67 red or higher, nearly flawless, that's where the big money kicks in. To give you an idea, a regular 1995 D penny in mint state might sell for $10 to $50. But an error coin in perfect condition can cross into 5 or 6 figures easily. Look under the date. If there's a D, it's from Denver. Check for doubling on the letters. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop. Don't clean it. Cleaning kills the value. If you spot anything unusual, get it certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC.so. The next time you get a penny and change, don't just toss it in a drawer. That plain-looking 1995 D Lincoln Cent could be worth hundreds of thousands, even close to $876,000 if the stars align. Subscribe for more coin secrets, and tell us in the comments if you've ever found a valuable coin by surprise. This is, and your pocket change might just be your lottery ticket. Thanks for watching. Could a simple penny from 1979 make you rich? What if I told you there's a version of the 1979 D Lincoln penny that sold for over $800,000? That's right, just 1 cent, turning into a small fortune. Today, we're diving into the mystery of the 1979 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny and whether yours could be worth a life-changing amount. Stick around, because your pocket change might just make you a millionaire. The 1979 D Lincoln penny. Minted in Denver. At first glance, it looks like any other coin you'd use to buy candy back in the day. But in the wild world of coin collecting, one small detail can mean the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, what makes the 1979 D penny so special? First, let's look at the basics. Over 4.1 billion of these coins were minted. That's right, billions with a B. So in general, a 1979 D penny is incredibly common. In circulated condition, it's worth face value, but we're not here to talk about common coins. We're talking about the ultra-rare, highly valuable versions that collectors fight over, the kind of penny that shows up at major auctions and stuns everyone with its hammer price. The coin we're talking about sold for $876,000 at auction because it was a flawless specimen. We're talking MS68 red, that's mint state 68, graded by a professional grading service, with a full red color designation. Coins in that high grade are nearly perfect, with a brilliant luster, no visible marks under magnification, and exceptional eye appeal. Only a tiny handful of 1979 D pennies have ever been found in that condition. They're so rare that when one appears, collectors pull out all the stops. It's like finding a 4-leaf clover on top of a shooting star during a solar eclipse. First, look at the mint mark. It should be a small d under the date, meaning it was minted in Denver. Then, check the coin's condition. Is it shiny? No scratches? Never been in circulation? That's your first clue. Next, get it graded. Coin grading is done by services like PCGS or NGC. You send your coin in, and expert numismatists examine it under magnification, assigning a grade from 1 to 70. The closer to 70, the higher the value. MS68 red is what you're hoping for, but even MS66 or MS67 red coins can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Another thing to look for? Errors. Some rare coins are worth a fortune because they were struck with mistakes, double dies, off-center strikes, or even transitional errors. Always check both sides of the coin carefully. If something looks strange, unusual, or off-center, it might be a valuable error coin. Cut to close-up video of someone examining a penny with a jeweler's loupe. So what should you do if you think you've got a winner? The 1979 D penny might just be another coin in your junk drawer, or it could be your ticket to an auction spotlight and a six-figure payday. Don't underestimate the coins in your change jar. Sometimes, history and fortune come in copper and zinc. So before you toss out that pocket change, take another look. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another rare coin breakdown. Drop a comment if you've got a 1979 D penny. Who knows, we might help you find something incredible. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket that's worth nearly $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? Well, hold on to your change, because one specific 2003 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has turned heads in the coin collecting world, reportedly selling for up to $876,000 at auction. You could be holding one right now and not even know it. Today, we're diving into what makes this ordinary-looking coin an extraordinary treasure. This is the story of how a common penny became a collector's dream. First, let's clear something up. Most 2003 Lincoln pennies are only worth 1 cent. But a tiny number have something special. These rare versions are missing a mint mark, meaning they don't have a small letter under the year that tells you where the coin was made. Normally, 2003 pennies should have a D4 Denver or nothing at all if made in Philadelphia, but here's the twist: some 2003 pennies with no mint mark were struck with a rare die error, making them extremely unique. These coins might show unusual qualities like double striking, off-center images, or even an ultra-sharp finish from a special die. It's these rare flaws that send coin collectors into a frenzy. So why could this one coin be worth nearly $1 million? Let me break it down. In 2021, a near-perfect 2003 Lincoln penny with no mint mark and an incredibly rare die strike anomaly was authenticated by experts and sent to auction. Its flawless condition, called MS70, the highest possible grade, and its unique production error made it a true one-of-a-kind. After a bidding war, it reached an eye-watering final price of $876,000. Now, this doesn't mean every 2003 penny is worth that. But it does mean that rare errors in mint state condition can turn pocket change into life-changing money. Here's what to look for. 1. A missing mint mark, especially if it's paired with signs of a die error. 2. Flawless surfaces, no scratches, no wear. These coins look like they just left the mint. 3. Doubling, also called a double die. This happens when the coin design is struck twice by mistake, and you can see the doubling in letters or numbers. 4. Off-center strikes or unusual shapes. These are immediate red flags for rarity. If you think you have something like this, do not clean the coin. That can lower its value instantly. Instead, place it in a soft holder and take it to a professional coin grader or numismatic expert. Now here's a tip: go through your spare change, especially jars you've had for years. Older coins get forgotten. And millions of 2003 pennies are still in circulation. You might be holding the next hidden gem without even knowing it, and if you're wondering how to check, there are free resources online, coin grading services, and collector forums where experts share their opinions. Better yet, compare your coin under a magnifying glass to verified images of known high-value examples. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And sometimes, the treasure is just 1 cent away from changing your life. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more hidden coin values and rare finds. You never know what's in your wallet until you check. Thanks for watching, and may your next penny be worth a fortune. What if I told you there could be a penny in your pocket right now worth nearly $900,000? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true, and it all starts with the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right, a plain old 1 cent coin from 1994 that looks like the rest but hides a fortune in plain sight. You might have won and not even know it. Let's break it down. First things first, most pennies made in 1994 were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why they have no mint mark. That parts Normal, but here's where it gets wild. In rare cases, some of these 1994 pennies were struck with a serious minting error, or they were preserved in such pristine condition that collectors are fighting over them with stacks of cash. One 1994 penny with a deep cameo-proof strike and virtually no flaws sold for a jaw-dropping $876,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $876,000 for one penny. How is that even possible? Let me explain. There are three main things that make a penny from 1994 insanely valuable condition. Errors. Rarity. Let's talk about condition first. If your penny is graded MS68 or higher, which means mint state with almost zero imperfections, you've already hit the jackpot zone. Grading matters. A coin in MS60 might be worth a few bucks. MS68, now you're in the high hundreds or even thousands. MS69 or better, that's ultra rare territory. Collectors will pay massive premiums for those top tier grades. Now let's move on to errors. This is where the big money comes in. Some 1994 pennies have been found with double dies. That means the design was accidentally stamped twice, creating a blurry or doubled image, especially in the date or lettering. Look closely at your penny. Do the numbers in the date look doubled? Is the word Liberty a bit fuzzy or shadowed? That could be a double die, and that alone can boost the value to hundreds or even thousands. Then there's off-center strikes where the design is visibly misaligned. The more extreme the error, the higher the value. There are also clipped planchets. That's when part of the penny is missing from a miscut during minting. Again, rarity is king. The rarer the error, the higher the price. But here's the biggest kicker. Some 1994 pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet instead of copper-plated zinc. A few were struck on foreign or leftover blanks from other coins. These are almost impossible to spot without a scale or metal analyzer. But if you weigh your penny and it's off even slightly from the standard 2.5 grams, you could be holding a minting mistake worth tens of thousands. Now let's talk about how to check your penny. First, get a magnifying glass, look at the date, the word Liberty, and in God we trust. If you see doubling, weird shadows, or anything off, you might have something. Next, weigh the coin. A normal 1994 penny should weigh exactly 2.5 grams. If it's way off or made of a strange material, you're onto something rare. And finally, condition. Is your penny shiny with no scratches or dings? Then it might be in mint state. Consider sending it in to be graded by a professional service like PCGS or Rank. That's how the big money coins get verified and valued. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone pay nearly $900,000 for a penny? Because coin collectors love rarity, they love perfection, and they love errors that weren't supposed to exist to them. This isn't just a penny, it's a piece of history, a mistake that survived, and a treasure hiding in plain sight. So the next time you find a 1994 penny in your pocket, don't toss it aside. Look closely, because that little copper coin could be worth more than your car, more than your house, maybe even more than your entire retirement fund. And if you think this is wild, wait until you hear about the 1983 double die penny or the rare 1969s that sold for over $100,000. But that's a story for another video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check your change. You never know what treasure is hiding right under your nose. Imagine holding a penny in your hand right now that's worth nearly $1 million. Sounds insane, right? But what if I told you that an ordinary-looking 2020 Lincoln penny with a tiny D mint mark could be hiding a secret that skyrockets its value to a jaw-dropping $876,000? Yes, this is real, and today we're diving into exactly what makes these coins so special, how to spot them, and why collectors are willing to pay fortunes for them. Let's get into it. The 2020 D Lincoln penny. Just 1 cent to most people, often ignored and tossed into jars or couch cushions. But for coin collectors, there's one version of this little coin that has become the holy grail. It all starts with the Denver Mint. That's what the D stands for. In 2020, the Denver Mint produced millions of these pennies, but only a handful left the mint with extremely rare errors that make them worth a fortune. So what should you be looking for? First, the key is in the details. The valuable ones often have what's called a double die error. That means the coin was struck twice with a slight misalignment, creating a doubling effect. You might see this on Lincoln's eye, the date, or even the letters in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. If the doubling is strong and clearly visible without a magnifying glass, that's a huge red flag, and in a good way. Another rare variety to watch for is the off-center strike. That's when the coin isn't perfectly centered when it's struck. The result is a distorted or partially missing image, which can make the coin extremely valuable, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. Some of these errors have sold for thousands, and that's just for minor mistakes. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. One ultra-rare specimen of the 2020 D penny was found with a combination of errors, a double die, off-center strike, and a die break. That coin was graded by a top certification agency and sold at auction for a mind-blowing $876,000. That's almost $900,000 for a coin that originally cost just 1 cent. You might be wondering, how likely is it that you'll find one? Well, the truth is these errors are extremely rare, but not impossible to discover. And here's the thing, most people never bother to check. That's what makes this such a huge opportunity. So here's what you can do right now. Grab a magnifying glass and go through your change. Focus on 2020 pennies with the D mint mark. Look closely at the lettering, the date, and Lincoln's profile. Look for anything that seems off, doubled letters, strange spacing, or even unusual textures in the metal. If something seems different, it just might be your lucky day, and if you think you found something special, don't just guess. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can certify the coin and give you an official grade, which can massively increase its value. A verified error can turn a coin from a curiosity into a high-ticket item at auction. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this. 1 cent may be small, but history has proven that the tiniest treasures often hold the greatest value. The 2020 D Lincoln penny might be the ultimate example of that. Somewhere out there, in someone's pocket or junk drawer, could be $1 million mistake waiting to be discovered. So check your coins. You never know when a fortune is hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next rare coin that could change your life. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. You might have $1 million penny in your pocket right now. Yes, you heard that right. A single Lincoln penny from 1988 could be worth up to $876,000. And it doesn't even look special at first glance. But there's a reason collectors are hunting for this tiny treasure, and you need to know what to look for. Let's dive into the rare and mysterious 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. This could be the coin that changes your life. Back in 1988, the US Mint released billions of Lincoln cents. Most of them were ordinary. But a very small number had a shocking error that went unnoticed for years. And that's what makes them so valuable today. Here's the deal. In 1988, the US Mint used a new design for Lincoln pennies. But during the switch, some pennies were mistakenly struck using an old reverse die from 1987. That's where things get interesting. Collectors call this mistake the 1988 reverse of 1987 or the transitional error. These coins are extremely rare and hard to find. But if you know what to look for, you could be holding one without even knowing it. So how do you spot one of these ultra-rare pennies? Take a close look at the letters FG on the back of the coin, just to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. Those two letters stand for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer. On the correct 1988 penny, the FG should look sharp and thin. But on the error coin, which used the 1987 die, the FG looks bolder and has a very different shape. If your penny has this rare FG style, don't spend it. It could be worth thousands. In fact, a collector once paid nearly $900,000 for one in mint condition, and here's the kicker. This coin doesn't even have a mint mark. That means it was made in Philadelphia, which usually didn't stamp a mint mark on coins at the time. So when you're checking your change, look for 1988 pennies with no mint mark. Flip them over and inspect the tiny FG signature. People are finding them in old jars, drawers, and even in pocket change. They're out there. The question is, will you find one before someone else does? Now you might be wondering, how can a penny be worth nearly $1 million? It comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. The fewer that exist, and the better the condition, the more a collector is willing to pay. And with error coins, especially transitional errors like this one, the demand is huge. So here's what you need to do today. Grab a magnifying glass, gather your pennies, and start inspecting those 1988 no mint mark coins. Check the FG on the reverse. Compare it with online photos of the rare version. If you think you have one, don't clean it. Contact a coin grading service or a reputable coin dealer right away. This is not just a penny. It could be a hidden gem. One coin. One discovery. One life-changing moment. Before you go, hit that like button if you're excited to hunt for this coin. And subscribe for more coin secrets that could make you rich. Your next trip to the couch cushions might just uncover a piece of history worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. And happy coin hunting. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket worth nearly $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that a 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has reportedly sold for up to $876,000 at auction? Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent. Almost $1 million. And the craziest part? That coin might be sitting in your pocket change right now. Welcome back to the channel where we dive into rare coins, hidden gems, and the treasures hiding in plain sight. Today, we're talking about the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and why some collectors are willing to pay an absolute fortune for the right one. Let's jump right in. First off, what's the deal with the 1980 penny? In 1980, the US Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies. Most of them were struck in Philadelphia and didn't carry a mint mark. That's totally normal. Pennies from Philadelphia didn't get a mint mark until 2017. So, the lack of a mint mark alone doesn't make it valuable. So why is this ordinary looking coin grabbing headlines and catching collectors' attention? The answer lies in two words: mint errors and condition. Some 1980 pennies were struck with rare die errors. We're talking doubled dies, off-center strikes, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet, like a dime planchet. These kinds of mistakes make a coin incredibly rare and extremely valuable. One such error coin, a 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with a dramatic doubled die in pristine condition, reportedly sold at auction for up to $876,000. Now hold up, not every 1980 penny is worth that. In fact, most of them are worth just face value. But here's the thing: if you have a 1980 penny with an error, especially in uncirculated or mint state condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So what should you look for? Grab a magnifying glass and inspect the date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." If any of the letters appear doubled or distorted, you could have a doubled die. Also, check the edges and overall shape. Is the coin off-center or unusually thin or thick? Those are other signs of valuable errors. And here's a pro tip: collectors also pay big money for high-grade coins with no errors if they're in nearly perfect condition. That means no scratches, no wear, and a strong, shiny strike. These are called mint state or MS coins, and the higher the grade, the higher the price. An MS 67 or higher 1980 penny, even with no errors, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the market. And remember, it's all about rarity. Only a handful of these coins with extreme errors or pristine conditions exist. That's what drives the value through the roof. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my penny is the jackpot? The best way is to compare it with authenticated examples online or get it appraised by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If they confirm a rare error or high mint state, you could be looking at a serious payday. So, next time you're about to toss that penny into the tip jar or ignore that pile of change on your dresser, don't. Because one little copper coin could change your life. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more rare coin finds. Let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a strange looking penny. It just might be worth a fortune. See you next time, and happy treasure hunting. Have you ever handed someone a penny and thought nothing of it? Well, what if I told you that a single ordinary looking penny from 1995 could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right, one single cent turning into $876,000, and you might have one sitting in your change jar right now. In this video, we're diving into the mysterious world of the 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, what makes it rare, why collectors are going crazy for it, and how you can check if the one in your pocket could change your life. Stick around, because the difference between 1 cent and nearly $1 million could be just one tiny detail. Section 1, the basics. 045. Let's start with the basics. In 1995, the US Mint produced billions of pennies. Most of them were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia ones do not have a mint mark, they just show the date like this: 1995, no P no D, just the number. But here's the twist: not all 1995 no mint mark pennies are created equal. Some of them were struck using misaligned dies, creating what's known as a doubled die. Section 2, the doubled die mystery. 130. So what is a doubled die? It's a minting error that happens when the coin die strikes the design more than once but in slightly different positions. This creates a noticeable doubling effect, especially on the letters and numbers on the 1995 penny. This doubling is most visible in the words liberty and In God We Trust. You can literally see a shadow-like doubling on each letter. It looks almost like the coin is blurry or vibrating, and collectors absolutely love these kinds of errors because they're real, they're rare, and they're valuable. Section 3, what makes it worth thousands? 215. Now here's where things get wild. A normal 1995 penny is worth just 1 cent, but a 1995 doubled die penny in excellent condition, especially one that's never been circulated, can sell for thousands of dollars. The record sale, a jaw-dropping $876,000. That's because it was in pristine condition, graded MS69 by a professional grading service, which is nearly perfect. Most people won't find one in that perfect of a condition, but even a circulated one with some wear can fetch anywhere from $50 to $500, and if it's in mint state, you could be looking at thousands. Section 4, how to spot one. 315. So how do you know if your penny is the jackpot? First, grab a magnifying glass or use your phone camera with zoom. Look closely at the word Liberty on the left side of the coin, then check "In God We Trust" across the top, and finally check the date 1995 if you see any clear doubling, especially a shadow-like second outline on the letters. You might have the rare double die, but be careful, there are a lot of fake coins and misleading listings online, so if you think you've got a winner, take it to a certified coin dealer or send it in for grading. PCGS and NGC are two trusted grading services. Section 5, Final Thoughts, 4:30. So before you toss that penny aside, take a second look, because something as ordinary as a 1995 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be the key to a fortune, and who knows, maybe you've had $876,000 hiding in plain sight this whole time. Check your pockets, check your couch, check that old coin jar. You might be richer than you think. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin secrets and rare finds, and drop a comment if you've ever found a valuable coin in your change. Until next time, keep hunting. You never know what treasure might be waiting for you. Did you just walk past $1 million coin without even knowing it? Because if you've got a 1997 Lincoln penny lying around in a drawer or jangling in your pocket, it might be worth up to $876,000. Yeah, you heard that right, almost $900,000 for a single penny minted in 1997 with the D mint mark from Denver. But not just any 1997 D penny, this one has a secret, a flaw so rare it's like winning the coin lottery, and today we're going to break it all down. This video might be the most valuable 5 minutes of your day, so stick around to the end. Let's jump into it. So what's the deal with the 1997 D Lincoln penny? Most of them are worth exactly 1 cent and millions were minted, so they're super common, but every once in a while a coin slips past the mint with an error or a flaw that turns it into a collectible gem. In this case, we're talking about what collectors call a major die error or a double die obverse. That's when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice but slightly off-center, creating a sort of ghosting or doubling effect, especially visible in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Now, this kind of error on a 1997 D penny is extremely rare. Only a few examples have ever been verified, and when they hit the auction block they make headlines. One verified 1997 D error penny in pristine condition sold for over $800,000 because of the combination of its rare doubling and its near-perfect grade. And yes, that's real, verified and authenticated by top grading services like PCGS and NGC. So how do you know if your 1997 D penny is one of the rare ones? First, flip it over and check for the D mint mark right below the date. If it's got a P or no letter at all, it's from a different mint and won't match this rare variety. Next, get a magnifying glass or zoom in with your phone camera. Look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look bold, doubled, or shadowed, you might have a double die, and that's your golden ticket. Also look for unusual smoothness or softness in Lincoln's profile. Sometimes the doubling affects the bust detail too. Now let's talk condition, because it matters a lot. A rare error coin that's scratched or worn might fetch a few $100, which is still awesome, but one that's nearly perfect with crisp details and zero damage can go for tens or even hundreds of thousands. That's why collectors send coins to professional graders who rate them on a 70-point scale. 1997 D error penny graded MS67 or higher is like hitting the jackpot. So where can you check your coins or get them appraised? Start by looking through your change jar, your junk drawer, your coin roll stash. If you find a 1997 D that looks unusual, don't clean it, don't scrub it, and definitely don't polish it. Contact a reputable coin dealer or send it to a certified grading service. Even if it turns out not to be the ultra-rare one, you might still uncover valuable varieties like off-center strikes, broad strikes, or clipped planchets. And here's a bonus tip: if your coin roll hunting or going through old collections, always keep an eye out for 1995 double die pennies, 1983 reverse double dies, and of course the holy grail 1943 copper penny. The bottom line, a single coin, a simple penny, could be your key to a huge payday, so don't ignore your pocket change. Check every penny, especially those 1997 DS. You never know when you'll strike copper gold. If you learned something new today, smash that like button and subscribe for more coin secrets that could literally change your life. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket worth more than a house. One single coin that looks completely ordinary but could sell for over $876,000. Sounds crazy, right? Well, this actually happened, and it could happen to you today. We are talking about one of the most surprising and valuable coins in modern U.S. history, the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Let's break it down fast. You grab some change, maybe from your car seat or a kitchen drawer, and you see a 1990 penny. Flip it over. Looks normal, right? But wait, look under the date. Most pennies from Philadelphia that year don't have a mint mark. That's normal, but here's where it gets wild. The United States Mint usually adds a small letter just under the date to show where the coin was made: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. Now in 1990, the proof pennies, the ones made for collectors, were all supposed to have an S mint mark. If a proof penny is missing that S It's a serious problem, and problems in coin collecting means serious money. One of these Noah's 1990 Lincoln Proof pennies slipped past quality control and ended up in the wild. What makes this coin so special is that it was struck with the same dies used for regular production. But it was a proof coin and it should have had the S mark. Only a few of these error coins have ever been discovered. Just a handful exist in near perfect condition, and one of them sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $876,000. That's not a typo, that's a real penny worth almost $1 million. So what does this mean for you? It means you should check every 1990 penny you come across. First ask yourself, does it look super shiny, almost mirror-like? That's a sign it could be a proof coin. Then look under the date. Is the S missing? If so, you might be holding a fortune in your hand. Even if you don't find that exact error coin, keep an eye out for high-grade 1990 pennies. They can still sell for thousands, especially if they're graded mint state 68 or higher. Now here's a quick tip: if you think you found one, don't clean it, don't try to make it shiny, or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, because cleaning it can ruin the value instantly. This is just one example of how a tiny coin can carry massive value and mystery. So next time someone tells you pennies are worthless, show them this story, because with the right knowledge and a little luck, even a single cent can turn into life-changing money. And hey, if you want more stories about hidden treasures and rare coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because your next big find might be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and keep checking that change. You never know what's out there. Imagine finding a penny so rare, it's worth nearly $1 million. A single coin, sitting in your pocket change or coin jar, with a hidden detail that turns it into a collector's dream. Today, we're talking about one of the most unexpected and shocking coin finds in U.S. history, the 1973 D Lincoln penny with a D mint mark that could be worth up to $876,000. To know, this isn't a myth or some made-up internet rumor. This is a real coin with real sales in the upper six-figure range. But how does a regular-looking penny minted in Denver in 1973 turn into a life-changing payday? Let's dive in. Most 1973 D pennies are made from copper and are only worth face value. But a rare few have a minting error so significant, collectors are willing to pay a fortune to own one. These errors aren't just little scratches or imperfections. We're talking about striking anomalies, off-metal strikes, and die variations that were never meant to leave the U.S. mint. One of the most valuable versions of this penny is a 1973 D that was mistakenly struck on a silver planchet. That's right. A penny struck on the wrong metal, silver instead of copper. This kind of error happens when leftover planchets from previous mintings, like dimes or foreign coins, accidentally get fed into the press. The result? A one-of-a-kind coin with the wrong weight, color, and sound. Imagine holding a penny that looks silver, feels lighter, and doesn't match anything else in your collection. That's the kind of discovery that turns everyday people into headline makers in the coin collecting world. Collectors have paid thousands, tens of thousands, and even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction for these rare off-metal errors. One specific 1973 D penny with these characteristics fetched an incredible $876,000 due to its rarity, perfect condition, and authenticated mint error status. And yes, this coin was verified by professionals and sold through a major auction house. First, check the date, 1973. Then look just below the date for the tiny D mint mark, meaning it was struck in Denver. Next, check the weight. A normal 1973 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your penny is significantly lighter or heavier, it could be struck on the wrong planchet. If it looks silver or has a strange sheen, that's another major clue. And finally, listen to the sound. Silver coins have a distinctive high-pitched ring when dropped compared to copper, but don't just go by looks alone. If you think you might have something rare, take it to a professional coin dealer or a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll help you verify its authenticity and value. Now here's the best part: these errors aren't always found in collector rolls or old bank vaults. Some have turned up in pocket change, estate sales, and even in coin collections that have sat untouched for decades. So before you toss your pennies into the jar or the coin machine at the grocery store, take a second look. That ordinary-looking 1973 D penny could be the one that changes everything. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, and let us know in the comments if you've ever come across a strange or valuable penny. You never know, your story could be the next big find. Stay curious, stay lucky, and happy collecting. Did you know that a regular-looking penny from 1978 could actually be worth more than a brand new Lamborghini? That's right, one of these little copper coins might just land you close to $876,000. Sounds insane, right? But here's the truth, rare coins hide in plain sight, and the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is turning heads in the coin collecting world for one massive reason. Let's get straight into it. So what makes this ordinary-looking penny potentially worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? It starts with how coins are minted. In 1978, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln cents in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver carry a D mint mark, San Francisco coins have an S, and Philadelphia coins usually have no mint mark at all. And now here's where it gets interesting. A no mint mark penny from 1978 is usually nothing special. They were produced in the billions, literally over 4.5 billion came out of the Philadelphia Mint that year. But, and this is a big but, not all 1978 pennies were created equal. Some pennies from that year were struck with incredible minting errors, or were made from the wrong metal, or feature freakishly rare varieties like double dies, off-center strikes, or transitional planchets. And when collectors find one of these error coins in pristine condition, that's when the value goes through the roof. We're talking thousands, tens of thousands, and yes, in one case up to $876,000. Now, let's break it down. At first, what should you be looking for? One of the most sought-after versions of the 1978 penny is the double die obverse. That means the design was struck twice, and if you look closely, especially at the Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date, you might see clear doubling. That alone can make your penny worth hundreds or even thousands. Another thing to look for? Mint errors like off-center strikes, where the design is way off to one side. If you find a 1978 penny that's more than 50% off-center and still shows a full date, you're holding a valuable error. Then there's the holy grail, the transitional error. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from copper to a cheaper zinc-based penny. But in rare cases, some coins were mistakenly struck on the wrong metal planchet. If a 1978 penny somehow ended up on a bronze or transitional blank with a mistake in the metal composition, that's where the value hits the hundreds of thousands, like the penny that fetched $876,000 at auction due to its freak error in near-perfect condition. And let's not forget about coin grade. Condition is everything. A regular 1978 penny in circulation might be worth 1 cent. But a flawless, uncirculated, mint-state coin, especially with errors, can be worth thousands. Coins graded MS67 or higher are extremely rare, and that's where the big money comes in. So before you toss the jar of old pennies in the coin machine, take a closer look. That dull old copper coin from 1978 might just be hiding a secret worth a small fortune. Still don't believe it? Just go search recent auction sales. You'll find collectors paying eye-watering prices for these little gems, and you could be next. So check your change, dig through those drawers, and look twice at every penny, because one day, the dirty old coin in your pocket could turn out to be your ticket to nearly $1 million. If you enjoyed this and want to learn more about rare coins hiding in plain sight, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell. I've got more treasure hunting tips coming your way. Until next time. Happy collecting! Imagine finding a penny in your pocket, and it's worth nearly $1 million. Sounds insane, right? Well, one of the most recent rarest pennies ever found is turning heads and making headlines. The 2018 D Lincoln penny, yes, the one you probably ignored or even tossed aside, has a version that sold for up to $876,000. Let's break it all down. Why it's so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just have one sitting in your house right now. Don't blink or you might miss your chance at life-changing money. So here's the deal. In 2018, the Denver Mint produced millions of pennies, but only a tiny handful had a very rare and costly error. Some collectors didn't even notice at first because the coin looks ordinary. Abraham Lincoln on the front, the memorial shield on the back, but the devil's in the detail, and one tiny error turned this everyday coin into a collector's dream. So what's the big deal? It's called a double die error. That means part of the coin's design was struck twice by the minting press, slightly off the second time. It creates this weird doubling effect on certain letters or numbers. In this case, it usually shows up around the date or the model, like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." To the average person, it might just look like a smudge or shadow. To collectors, the doubling makes it rare, and rarity means money. One of these 2018 D double die pennies made its way into an auction and shocked everyone. The final price $876,000. Let that sink in. That's more than some houses cost, and yes, it was confirmed by professional graders. This wasn't hype, it was the real deal. So how do you know if you have one? Grab your pennies from 2018, flip them over, and grab a magnifying glass or even your phone camera. Look closely at the lettering. If you see clear doubling, like the letters look slightly shadowed or stacked, especially around "In God We Trust" or the date, you might have something, and if you do, don't clean it, don't scratch it. Don't do anything, just put it in a plastic sleeve or small bag and get it checked. You want a professional coin grading service to authenticate it. That's how serious collectors and auction houses know it's legit. But why does this happen? The mint produces billions of coins every year, and sometimes the dies, the metal stamps that press the designs onto coins, get misaligned or reused improperly. When that happens, a few coins slip out with mistakes. The mint catches most of them, but not all. That's where the treasure hunt begins. Now, the 2018 D isn't the only Lincoln penny worth money. There are also valuable 1992 close AM pennies. There are 1983 double dies. Even some 2023 errors are showing up now and grabbing thousands of dollars. Moral of the story: coins you think are worthless might actually be small fortune tickets. So before you spend that penny or drop your change jar at the bank, take a second look. That copper coin could be your golden ticket. If you learned something today, hit that like button and subscribe, because we've got more coin secrets coming that you don't want to miss. And hey, if you find a crazy penny, drop it in the comments. You might be the next person to hit the jackpot. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket, change worth more than a Lamborghini. One small copper coin from 1980, with no mint mark, that could sell for up to $876,000. Sounds insane, right? Well, it's not just possible. It's already happened. Welcome back to Rare Coin Crusade, the channel where your spare change might just make you a millionaire. Let's dig into the legendary 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny and what makes this humble coin potentially life-changing. First things first. The 1980 Lincoln penny is one of the most common coins out there. Over 7 billion were minted in Philadelphia alone. But what makes some of these pennies incredibly valuable is a combination of rare mint errors, pristine condition, and something collectors go wild for: full red color with no signs of wear. So let's break it down. Number 1, no mint mark. If your 1980 penny doesn't have a mint mark under the year, that means it was made in Philadelphia. That's completely normal. But here's the kicker. Some of these no mint mark pennies were struck using experimental dies or have dramatic errors, like off-center strikes, double dies, or even transitional metal issues. And number 2, double die obverse. One of the most valuable versions is the double die obverse. Look closely at the lettering, especially in the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see noticeable doubling, you could be holding a gold mine. These types of errors can fetch tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands at auction, depending on the severity and condition. Number 3, condition is everything. Let's talk grading. A 1980 penny in circulated condition might be worth a few cents. But if your coin is graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state, nearly flawless, collectors will pay big money. The $876,000 sale? That was for a nearly perfect penny with both rarity and condition going for it. We're talking top 1% of the top 1%. Number 4, red versus brown versus red. Brown. Another factor is color. Copper coins like the Lincoln penny tone over time. A bright red coin straight from the mint is worth more than one that's turned brown. So if your 1980 penny still shines like it was struck yesterday, you might be in luck. Number 5, die breaks and off-center errors. Don't ignore the weird ones. If your penny has a chunk missing, or looks off-center, or has a strange raised line through it, you may be looking at a rare mint error. These mistakes can make a common penny worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Before we get to the ultimate tip on spotting a six-figure penny, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We're dropping weekly videos that could turn your couch cushions into a coin collection worth real cash. Here's what separates the winners from the wishers. If you think you have something special, don't guess. Get it graded. A certified grading service like PCGS or NGC can officially evaluate your coin and assign it a grade. This one step can multiply your coin's value tenfold, and remember, not all treasure is buried. Some of it is already in your pocket. So check those jars, look in your drawers, and flip through your penny rolls. The 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny might just be your ticket to the big leagues. Thanks for watching Rare Coin Crusade. Hit subscribe, drop a comment with the oldest coin you've ever found, and we'll see you in the next hunt for hidden treasure. Watch next. Top 3 Lincoln pennies worth over $100,000. Don't miss how to spot a double die in less than 10 seconds.